Disclaimer. This is educational purpose video only. I didn't harm anyone. I used my own device during explain of this method, so please don't use this method any kind of illegal or malicious activities. Because hacking is crime. If you do this, then it can land you in jail. I'm not support any kind of illegal or malicious hacking.
Framework is actually kind of outdated right now. So let me go to google.com and show you what I mean. By outdated, I mean it's not being updated anymore. However, it works, and it works better than better cap in some of the circumstances, okay? So if you come over here to google.com and search for man-in-the-middle framework, MITMF GitHub, it will take you to the GitHub page of man-in-the-middle framework, okay? So you have to write this MITMF GitHub. So GitHub is the web page that we share the codes, that we share the source code of the programs, that we get to collaborate with other developers, and we get to see the source code of this popular softwares, popular tools like man in the middle, okay? So this is what we are looking for, okay? Just click on the first result and it will take you to this ByteBleeder man-in-the-middle framework. And as you can see, this repository has been archived by the owner. It means that it's not getting updates anymore, and the owner of this archive has updated this tool at least 1 year ago, okay? So it got its late update in a previous update 1 year ago, but again, it works well. So I'm going to open my downloads folder, and you don't have to do that because I already have man-in-the-middle framework over here. So I'm going to delete this and just install it from the scratch so that you would know every step, okay? And in order to install this on my computer, I'm just click on this button, okay? I'm gonna click on this button and say download zip. So it will download this program, this software, into my Kali Linux. Once you save file, it will start to download, and it's actually something around 200 kilobytes, so it will be very fast for you, like that, okay? So once it's installed, you can just click over here to open your downloads folder, and then you may close down the Firefox. And if you couldn't open it from here, you can just click on these files and then come to your downloads. Now we have to unzip this. So if you right click over here and say open with archive manager, you can just drag and drop this man-in-the-middle framework master folder to your downloads folder. Okay, now you can even delete the zip because we already have man-in-the-middle framework over here. Now you can see this man-in-the-middle framework master folder, and this master folder you can see there is a file called man-in-the-middle framework.py. So this is a Python file, and we're going to run this, okay? And this is actually not the only file. We have a lot of libraries and other stuff going on in this man-in-the-middle framework, but we're gonna work with this file mostly. And I forgot to show you the readme file of this man-in-the-middle framework. So I'm going to open it one more time. You don't have to do that, but I just want to show you, okay? So if I go to github.com, ByteBleeder one more time. So let me search for ByteBleeder. Yep, this is the one that I'm looking for. So man-in-the-middle framework. Of course, I could have just searched it in the Google as well. So if you scroll down a little bit, you can see the usage and the installation instructions of this man-in-the-middle framework. Now you see all the commands here that you're going to need when you use it. But don't worry, I'm just going to show you how it's done, okay? But later on, if you need anything, then you can just come over here and look for it. So now, as I said before, we're going to run this man-in-the-middle framework py file in order to attack the target computer and in order to start an ARP attack and be a man in the middle. Okay? So let's do that actually. In order to run this, we're going to use our terminal. So open a terminal and I believe we can just make this a little bit to the right, and we can come over here to make this a little bit bigger so you can see it better. Let me zoom in. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go into the downloads folder, okay, by writing cd downloads and then cd man in the middle framework master. So if you hit tab, it will autocomplete for you. If you say ls, you will get the available files and folders, and we are particularly interested in this man in the middle framework.py. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to write Python, and if I leave a space, I can run any file that I want with, of course, the extension of py. So now I can just say Python man in the middle framework.py, and then let me close this down because I believe it blocks our vision, okay? And then I'm going to give some parameters over here like ARP spoof. It means that I'm going to run an ARP spoof attack. And even before this, I believe we have to specify the interface like ETH0. So if I had my USB Wi-Fi card connected, and if I was trying to attack with that USB Wi-Fi card, of course I had to write WLAN O over here rather than ETH0. But right now I'm connected to NAT network in both virtual machines, okay, in both Kali Linux and Windows, so I can run an attack using ETH0 as well. But if you want to do that over wireless network, then you're gonna have to go with WLAN O. And then I will specify ARP spoof, and then I will specify the gateway MAC address. No, not the MAC address, actually, the IP address. So if you run ifconfig, you will see that our own IP is 10.02.15, okay, which is our NAT network IP, and it means that our NAT network gateway is 10.02.1, and our target is actually 10.02.4. So 10.02.4. So how do we get this? Remember, in the Windows, if you come over here and if you run cmd from the search file, okay, and just open the command prompt, if you run ipconfig, you can see it has the IP of 10.02.4. In the real life example, of course, you're gonna get this from netdiscover or nmap. But now we know the target is 10.02.4, and I'm going to run this attack against my Windows machine. If I hit enter, as you can see, I get an error saying that this file palm.py giving me an error, okay? So this is a plugin, and we're not even going to use it, and it causes some problems in the coding section. Rather than diving into the coding section, I'm just going to delete it because at this point we don't even know how to work with Python. Later on we're gonna learn, but right now I'm just going to go into these plugins and find the file palm.py and delete it, okay, like that. And if I come over here and hit the upper arrow button on my keyboard, I can hit enter and it will start this attack for me. And I'm just going to stop that video for a second, pause that video for a second, and I will explain something to you. If you have run that attack as the same as that I did, but even if you have deleted the file palm.py, if you're still getting errors, then you're gonna have to do some additional setup over here. So this is the installation page of Man in the Middle framework. Don't worry, I'm just going to include that web address and the commands that you have to run in order to make this work in the resources of this lecture. here you can see there is a command to include and install every library that this man-in-the-middle framework should have in order to be running properly. So I'm just going to copy this from here, okay? And I'm just going to run this on my terminal. So it will download some libraries in order to make this work. These libraries may have been installed on your Kali Linux as default, but in case if you get any error, then you should run this. So let me zoom in a little bit so that you can see it better. As you can see, it is a long line. It has some Python development libraries over here to download. If you see something like that, you have to say why, meaning yes, I want to download all of these things, and it will download it for you. It doesn't end here, unfortunately. If you do that and run the man-in-the-middle framework attack one more time, and if you continue getting some error messages and everything, then you have to come over here to dependencies. So as you can see, we already do this downloading and running man-in-the-middle framework, but actually we didn't do this yet. So let me show you what it means. After this is done, then we're going to install the Python libraries, Python dependencies to make this work if you get any additional errors, okay? So let me come over here to my downloads folder, and in here I have the man-in-the-middle framework master, and over here we have this requirements.txt. So this is a list of the dependencies, the necessary modules that Python has to have in order to run this in a proper way. So we're going to download all of these things as well in order to test one more time if you get any error. Okay, if you don't have any error, you don't have to do that. So let me go into my downloads folder one more time from here, okay? And then we're just going to reach that requirements.txt and pip install everything. So let me close this down, okay? Because we're going to do that inside of the terminal. And let me try to go into downloads and man-in-the-middle framework master. And over here, let me clear this up so that we can see it better. If I say ls, then I will see this requirements.txt, and all we have to do is run pip install like this. So this pip install command is to download Python dependencies, and actually we're going to use that a lot in the Python section as well. So let me paste this and run this. So after this is completed, then you will be able to run man-in-the-middle framework tool in a proper way. If this doesn't work for you, if you try everything but it still doesn't work, then I believe you're good to go with better cap. But in most of the cases this will work, okay? And in most of the cases you will access the passwords and usernames and all other stuff of targets using this man-in-the-middle framework. So after you run this, just wait for it to complete, and then I'm just going to stop this and go back to my previous video where we continue using man-in-the-middle. So now I'm man-in-the-middle and I'm running an ARP attack against Windows machine. So far so good. Now if I come over to my Windows machine, if I run ARP-A here in order to see the ARP tables, okay? So it will give me these results. So as you can see, 10.02.1 is the gateway and it has the MAC address of this. And we have 10.02.15 as well. It has the exact same MAC address. It means that Kali Linux is actually man-in-the-middle. So our attack works. Now let's stop here and